other day I was watching a clip of Super Soul Sunday with Shonda Rhimes and Oprah. Oprah was talking to Shonda about saying no, and Shonda basically explained that she's got just a very simple but brilliant way to say no. She simply says, "No, I'm not able to do that." It really got me thinking about how often you and I and people that we love very much are in a difficult situation where they have a choice. They can say yes to that other person and sacrifice a part of themselves or do something that doesn't quite feel right, or they can say no. So many of us, kind-hearted, caring people, we want to be there for people. You know, we want people to know that we care and that they can count on us. But the reality is, there are simply times when it doesn't work for us to say yes or for us to be there for other people. And it's this difficult space to navigate between knowing when to say no and when to say yes. Shonda's way of saying no is very similar to the way that I actually tell my clients to say no. Eliminate, cut out completely that need to justify yourself. So oftentimes when people are saying no, and Shonda and Oprah talk about this in the video as well, they say, "No, I can't because I have to go pick up the kids, and then I have to do this, and then I've got to run errands, and then I have to go help my mom." Like, and they just run off this long grocery list of why they can't do it. If we really look at what's happening behind that, what we're dealing with is our guilt. We are explaining to death why we can't do it because we feel guilty about saying no. We feel like if we say no, it's gotta be because it's so impossible or it would kill us to say yes. As a self-love teacher and coach, I really teach my clients, and I live by this philosophy that we always know what's best for us. It's not necessary for someone else to really understand why we can't do something or why we don't want to, and to be okay with that. And the moment we become okay with that, we stop feeling the need to ensure that other people get it or that other people are okay with that. I'll tell you what, there's another piece to being able to say no, I'm not able to do it, or whatever your simple version is. If you can get really comfortable with your own emotions, right? This is also something that I work on with my clients. If you can get to this place where you're just really comfortable with whatever emotion you feel, even the ones that are negative, you're not so afraid then of other people's seemingly negative emotions. If you can feel okay with your own disappointment when people say no to you, if you can feel okay with your own anger, your frustration, or whatever you feel when people say no to you, or even those emotions when they're in a completely different situation, as long as you can be comfortable with your own emotions, then it starts to open up this beautiful space where you can be yourself. And even if other people are uncomfortable or, get angry or frustrated, you don't immediately get sent into a tailspin or a panic or a worry or anxiety or even depression because that other person is not happy with your answer or doesn't agree with you. In fact, you're just kind of like, okay, I totally understand why they're having their experience, why they might be upset with me saying no, and I allow them to have that experience, and I made the right decision for myself. I feel good about myself. I feel like I respected my own personal boundaries, and despite what it might cost me, what I gained far outweighs it. Really, if you stop and think about it, think about what a difference it would make if you were able to just say yes to the things that were really in harmony, really in alignment for you, the things that you really wanted to do, and you didn't feel so bad or so guilty when the thing that you had to do or have to do is say no, or the thing that you choose to do is say no. I can tell you also, as a Reiki master, okay, when I'm working with people's energy, a lot of the stuff that I'm helping them to clear is all stuff that's wrapped up in this area of the body, the solar plexus. This is where a lot of the guilt and the shame and the feeling bad, all of that stuff, this is where a lot of it's packed in. So a little tip for you is that if you're experiencing any physical symptoms in your body related to the stomach, digestion, IBS, gallstones, things like that, a lot of it has to do with unprocessed emotions. And I definitely recommend that you work with a coach, and as well, if you can, that you work with an energy healer. It could be someone that's a Reiki master, or there are so many different kinds of healing modalities that you can choose from. Check out the Super Soul Sunday class because it really was awesome. In fact, I've had a couple of friends who have recommended to me to go and read Shonda Rhimes' book. I absolutely love her, and I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder fan, so I think this is going to be right up my alley as well. Maybe what I'll do as well is I'll do a review on her book. That would be fun, right? And then I guess, you know, finally, this is a practice, right? So if we have spent 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus years, maybe you're 80 plus years watching this show and you've carried around a lot of guilt or feeling bad whenever you have to say no, then if you're, you know, just starting to practice this, it's going to take a little time before that guilty feeling that gnaws at you sort of eats away. But I sincerely promise you that the more that you practice this and the more that you work on self-love and getting comfortable with your own feelings, the easier this will become. And as well, the more deeply connected you'll be in your relationships and to the people who matter most to you in life. It's always a pleasure for me to sit down and do these vlogs. And of course, if you like them, then don't forget to hit subscribe. And I will see you for the next one. Mwah.